Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Companion Cube. Now, this particular caught my attention for a couple of reasons. First, when I first found it, it had a 96% rating on Logic Masters Germany. So it's unusually high, let me put it that way. And then, it had a very interesting introduction. It says, Companion Cube, this was a triumph. I'm making a note here. Huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Now, I don't know if this is Gerhard 1963, the constructor of this puzzle, kind of really happy with what we have here, or if this is some kind of pop reference that I'm not quite getting. At the same time, when you actually take a look at the puzzle itself, I don't quite get the reference to Companion Cube as the title. I mean, obviously it's a cube, but there's hearts, there's pluses. Maybe somebody in the comments down below will let me know what's going on and what am I actually potentially missing. Regardless, really looking forward to this particular puzzle. Obviously, Sleuth here has a companion cube, a smiling one, rather than hearts and kind of a cross as well. Anyway, let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule sets with Companion Cube, Gerhard 1963. And you can see that heart that I was referencing, almost like a medical cross sort of symbol in the middle, and the following set of rules. So standard Sudoku rules apply. That means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and in every 3x3 box. Nothing unusual about this. Then we have the following set of rules. Lovely whispers. Shown as pink lines, adjacent digits along a lovely whisper line must differ by at least 6. That is quite unusual. This is not German whispers. These are lovely whispers. So let's try that. If this is a 2, the neighbors would have to differ by at least 6. So that can only be 8 or 9. Now, I'm going to guess, although I think rather than try and show you this as part of the rule sets, I'm going to probably show and demonstrate that this is still some kind of polarity involved and there are even more restricted digits, but for you guys to determine. Then we have cages. Digits in cages cannot repeat and must sum to the value shown in the upper left corner of the cage. It means that these 3 cells are unique and I have to add up to 12. It does say digits cannot repeat, but they're always pretty much, they are always in the same box. So obviously do not repeat, but 3 numbers that are unique that sum up to 17, 13, etc. So that's all the rules we have for today. As always, if you want to play along, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. With that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. So let me just think about this. I'm pretty sure 4 doesn't work because 6 or more away would be 10. 5 wouldn't work because it would be -1 or 11. 6 doesn't work because it would be 0. But I think 3 does. It would have to be a 9. So essentially, I think we're oscillating between 1, 2, 3 and 7, 8, 9. And yes, that does mean that there are lows and high digits. We'll come to that in a second. So skip 1, essentially every other digit will be the same polarity, and polarity is appropriate here. Yes, 4, 5, and 6 are not included, but the following ones have to be either low, purple is a terrible choice, green, or high digits. So 1, 2, 3, or 7, 8, 9. Again, orange, not a great choice. Yellow, yeah, that's visible. Let me have a think about this. So 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3. I'm pretty sure that means that has to be a low digit, because even if I go with a 7, and then the next low digit would have to be a 1, that works. I'm already at 8, that's a maximum of 4. So this is definitely a low digit, and this is 1 of low, 1 of high. So let me just see what that does. Yeah, 1 of each is not enough, because best case scenario, unless green is low, I haven't used all of them, so no. Let me think about 17. I think I have a lot more options here. 1 and 7 is only 8, which would leave me a 9. And then if I actually maximize this with, let's say, this 4 doesn't work, we already said 9 and 3, That's 12. That leaves me room for a 5. So it's almost certainly a high digit that's in here as opposed to a low digit. But I can get away with a 5. Interesting. Box 5, this is 21. Means 4 remaining digits that have to add up to 25. Sorry, 24. And it's not maximum in any way either. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm getting this right now. So 17 wasn't exciting. So I'm just wondering if I'm going to ignore the 17 cages for a second. 12 was interesting, but remember this was a maximum of 4. So 13 is almost like less interesting because I'm guessing I can actually stick a 5 in here. Even if I make 1 and 7, which is the minimum I can get away with, that is only 8, and yes, 5 to get me to 13. Maybe the thing to think about is the columns and rows actually do have a lot of lovely whispers. And there you go. Took me a while to spot. Essentially, look at column 1. All of these cells have lovely whisper lines which cannot have 4, 5, and 6. The only cells that can have 4, 5, and 6 are indeed only 3 cells. So these are 4, 5, 6. And is it true in the rows? Yes. Columns? Yes. Yeah, all of these are 4, 5, 6. And I think that's interesting for the 12 cage probably. Because we said the maximum for the 12 cage is indeed 4. So that is forced. That is a 4. That is 1, 7. And we have our break-in. We actually have our first digit. Only took me 4 minutes. Doesn't matter. We're all there. That's the only thing that does matter. Where else do I go from here? So 14 now. Technically, I get away with a 6, don't I? So this can't be 1 or 7. But I can still have something pretty low. I could still do 2 and 7. And if it is 2 and 7 doesn't actually work. Because to be 6 or more away, if this is 2, that would have to be 8. So that would be a 10, and then that would be a 4. So that can't be a 2. Let me just show you that again. So 2, and then 6 or more away, that would be 8. And then that gets me to 10, and then I have to put a 4 in here, which I can't do. So I'm pretty sure from these two, that's got to be the high digit, and it can't be a 7. It's at least an 8. But I could get away with a 1 now. And in fact, I have to put a 1 in here because these two cells have to add up to 9 to allow me to sneak in the 5. So that is forced. Okay, interesting puzzle. These two now, again, can't be 1, 7. Means the minimum I can put in here now is 2, 8, which gets me to 10, and this would be 4. So this is also forced, and this is also forced, 2, 8. That means that this has to be 6. These are not 6s. And then these two cells have to add up to 10, which admittedly I've got a few options. I can do 2, 8. I can't do 2, 8 anymore because that cell can't be either, and it can't be a 1. If I put a 3 in here, that would be a 9. That's 12 plus 6. That's 18. That's too big. So this is the high digit, and it's not an 8. Now, I think I get away with a 9 as well. So I could put 7 or 9. No, I can't get away with 7. If it's 7, I have to put a 3 in here. These two cells have to add up to 10, so it's a problem. So that is 9, and that is 1. And obviously we've got polarity, so to speak. So I need a low digit in here. That's the 3, which it can't be there. And then I have a high digit, which is the 7, which can be adjacent to the 1. Excellent. Right, we're definitely on the right track now in terms of the solution path. These two cells, I could still get away with 1, 7, I believe. 1 and 7. Yeah. Less. Oh, hang on. The 5 in here gives me a 6, which means that these two cells add up to 11. Now, 3 and 9 is too big, so I can't have a 3 on here because that would get me 12 plus the 6, that's 18. I do get away with 2 and 9. That is the only other way to add up to 11 because 3 and 8 is too close. So this is 2, 9. And again, it's forced to get to 11 plus the 6. These are no longer 6s. And let me just think around what is left in the column. That will probably give me the direction of 2 and 9, because I've got 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't necessarily have 9, because that could be the 9. So what am I missing? I'm missing a 3 for sure, which can't be next to the 8. So that is a 3, that is a 9, that is a 2. Then the other digit that I'm missing is a 2. This now has to be a high digit. That it can only be an 8 because the 9 is not available and the 7 is too close. Then we've got a bunch of digits in here. Right, so these two cells have to add up to either 13 or 12. Without the 8, so essentially if I put 7, because let's think about what are all the high digits that are available. 6 and 8 are gone. 7 forces a 1 with it. That only gets me to 8. That's nowhere near where I need to be. So the 9 is mandatory in here. And essentially, I need to have, what was it, 12 or 13, wasn't it? Yeah, so I think this is forced. This has to be maximum, 9 and 3 at 12, to allow me to place the 5, which is, again, the maximum I can place in here. So this is forced. Doesn't give me direction, but that's fine. These two cells may. It's 1 and 7. I mean, that can't be a 1, surely. 4 would require a remainder of 9. And yeah, 1 with an 8 absolutely does work. So never mind what I said earlier. So 1 and 8 works. And if this is 7, and I'm trying to get to, what was it again? 9. And if that's 7, that would require a 2, which is too close. It's only 5 away. So this is actually the 1, and this is the 8. Says a lot about how much I've already figured about these rules, if what I initially excluded intuitively is actually the correct answer. This has to be a low digit, and it's not 1 or 4. It's got to be 2, 3. Again, other than Sudoku, it's too close to the 8. So that's 2. These two cells now need to add up to 12. It can only be 3 and 9. We've already covered that example earlier. And this has to be a 7 just to complete the column. Fantastic. So we know that these two are low. It doesn't give me polarity on the yellows and greens. What I'm wondering is maybe if I'm better off doing a bit of Sudoku just to see how much more I can resolve. So just having a look quickly at the 2, 8 and the 3, 9, I think the answer is I can't resolve these just yet. But I probably can do a minuscule amount of Sudoku. That would allow me to place some more digits that would help me along. So let me just see if I can do a little bit of that. 3, 3, it's the only place for a 3. These are 5 and 6, they're not resolved. In here I need a 1, not very useful. 2, 3, I need a 4, which is anywhere. 5, which is anywhere. 7, which is in here. Not brilliant. What about in here? I need a 2, a 4, which is anywhere, a 5, which is anywhere, and an 8. So other than the 2 and 8, so hopefully this corner then, if there's any kind of pattern, maybe the opposite corner similar to this one is going to give me a couple of digits. What was it, 4 and 5? Right, let's have a think. I need a 3, which I can't resolve. 4, which I can't resolve. 6, which again, okay, this is a much worse corner. This is like an anything goes corner. Right, let's move on from that. So let's have a think. If green was low, then it has to have 2 and 3. And then that would have to be 2, that would have to be 3. This would have to be 9 to be 6 or more away from the 3. We'll figure out what is the implications of all of that in a second, because I think 3 is generally interesting, because that would mean that would be 9, and we can go round and round. 2 places lots of pressure, that would have to be an 8. Then this would have to be a 7, this would have to be a 1, all of which is possible, by the way. So I'm not exactly breaking anything, but I may as well write down the possibility. 2 can't be 9, therefore it's 8. Need a low digits, not 8 or 9. It's 7. 7 requires a 1, requires a 1. If this is a high digit, it's not 9. It would be 8 or 7. And it can't be 7. 7 can't be in the middle because it would require a double 1. It's the German whisper 6. So that would have to be 8 to allow me to sneak in a 2 in here. 4 and 5 were never allowed. So that was always 8. Sorry, head wrapped in a pillow, literally only like half an hour ago is our dog that demanded us to go out for a walk, which I think gives us polarity and then forces everything that I was actually kind of figuring out already. I say figuring out, explaining that this was a potential option. We don't actually need to think about other options now with that 8 placed. And then we need 2 low digits that are not 2. It has to be 1 and 3. The 3 can only be next to the 9, so that's the 1, that's the 3. That would have to be a 9, this is given this is a 3. That gives me 9 and 3 down here. It doesn't help me with my 2, 8, but I don't mind. We're pretty much there, I think. 9 gives me 3, gives me 9. The 1 and 7 we still haven't resolved, that's fine. Right, 21 with the 9 placed. It's at 12 now in 3 digits. Starting to get harder to achieve. No 1's in any of these. 1 is in one of 2 cells. 2 is forced inside it. 3 is not inside it. In fact, I think we can just place the 3. We may as well place it. So, given I don't have the 3, and what was it again? I'm trying to get to 12. I'm kind of, oh yeah, so with 4 digits, if I don't use the 1, I would have minimum of 2, 4, 6, and 7, which is way too big. So I have to have the 1 and the 7 and the 1 in here. I'm almost, we obviously already know from Sudoku we need the 2 in here. So that's already at 3. Then I need 2 more digits that add up to 9. And it can't be 3, 6. It would have to be 4, 5. And the 4 can't be there. So this is a 2, 4 pair. And this is a 5. That gives me a 2, 4, 2 that kind of line up in columns 4 and 5. So that's the only place for a 2 now. And we can not complete this. So it's 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is 4, 5, or 6. Not 5, excuse me, 4 or 6. Right, and this, let me just double check this. 11, 12, 21. Then we have 8 that can't be in there, and then 6 and 7, which are seemingly not resolved. They are. The 7 in here means there's a 7 in there, a 6 in here, and then we know what this is. This is 8, and then you're pretty much on the home stretch at this point. Let's keep going. We need 4. We need, not 5, 6. We need 5, and we need 6. That can't be a 5, so that's 4. That is 6. That is 5. That is 7. This is not 4 or 7, it's 1 and 5. That's the only place for a 1. That's a 5. That 5 gave me 6 in here. That 5 removed, the 5 and 4 gave me a 2 in there. No resolution there, I don't think. Then I need 4, 5, and 6. No 5s in any of these. So that's the only place for a 5, a 4, 4 and 6, 4, 6. Then in here I need a 3 and a 6. Then I need 5, which can only be there. 7 and 9. 7 can only be here. 9 can only be there. That is 4, which gave me 2. 4 gave me 8 and a 2 for the finish. It's a beautiful puzzle. So I don't know if you were indeed patting yourself on the back, Gerhard, or if that was a reference to something that I'm not quite getting. Very interesting. I think German Whispers plays very similarly to this. You just need to sort of try and make that mental loop a bit quicker than I did around just the restrictions. 7 being the new 6 as an example. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and video, and well, stay tuned. I am meant to be doing some of the harder equality cage puzzles that are still left, but we're very nearly done with that series as well. See you soon. Bye-bye for now.